Tshwane Mayor Solly Msimanga has officially resigned. He first announced his resignation earlier this month, saying he wants to focus on his campaign to become Gauteng Premier. Msimanga's official resignation today comes just hours before the ANC could table a motion of no confidence in the mayor. Aldrin Sampear joins us now from Pretoria. So even on the day on which the resignation has been handed in, Aldrin, it just couldn't happen without a bit of drama, including water bottles being tossed. What was happening in that council chamber?
Well, yes, indeed. And I think the ANC's Lisego Makwela summed it up perfectly when he said that this council is very toxic. And he spoke about Tshwane being a crime scene. And just the level of debate that has been taking place here as well, around, for instance, the resignation letter of the mayor, and the mayor now indicating that he'll be stepping down on the 11th. The ANC was expected to table a motion of no confidence in the mayor. Now I understand that that has been deferred. It should be happening later on today. I'm now joined by the chairperson of the region here in Tshwane. Doctor, just quickly tell us, what is the ANC strategy around making sure that the mayor does vacate office today?
Okay, thank you, Aldrin, and to the viewers of ENCA. First of all, is that the ANC yesterday got confirmation that, in fact, the executive mayor had not resigned by yesterday. By this morning as well, we actually have an email that we have given to the media from the Speaker of Council that she did not receive the resignation letter. So this morning, 2 hours before Council, as allowed by the rules, the ANC put a motion of no confidence on him. And immediately when he realized that there was a motion of no confidence on him, he immediately produced the letter, and it was after 10 o'clock we have that email, and it was distributed to all councillors, where he then wrote and he took manifesto. We take it as a manifesto of the DA because he only talks about the ANC in that letter. And then in the end he said now he's resigning, but only on the 11th of February. Now here in Council you will have heard that the African National Congress said no, we want immediate effect. You have told the public by the 18th of January that you are leaving. If he doesn't leave today, we'll continue with our motion. So the motion is on the order book. But now there is an item that was deferred to item K. And item K, that's where we discuss motions and so on. So the motion will go ahead. But there's another motion that the ANC, and I've seen also supported by the EFF, saying that we must vote on whether he leaves immediately or not. So that vote will come, and we want that vote to come with immediate effect.
Are you confident at all, though, that the Speaker will allow it?
Remember, councillors are allowed to put motions. So the motion is there, it's just to vote whether he vacates today or on the 11th. So it's not a substantiated motion, it's that there's a letter. So we are speaking from a letter that we have that is signed by him and that was presented and read to us by the Speaker. So we are saying on that letter that we agree with the contents of the letter. That's the position of the ANC. What we don't agree with is the date of leaving. Because we are asking, why does he want to stay for 10 more days to do what? Because there's nothing to do. He is actually and currently in a campaign.
So just help me out with the numbers here in terms of the council. So if you guys are then supported by the EFF, that puts you in the majority, right, to ensure that there is the resignation or the vacation of the mayor with immediate effect?
In council, there are 214 councillors. For majority, you need 107 plus 1, which is 108. Now, the ANC, together with other parties, excluding the DA, they have more than 108. So immediately the motion comes, if we take a vote, obviously, majority parties who want him to leave immediately will win.
The bell is ringing for you guys to go in, but just quickly, another one is the elephant in the room, and that is the suspension of Musola. Where does the ANC stand on this?
Remember the report, the ANC, remember in the past, used to bring a lot of motions here against Musola. And then the Speaker said to us, this matter is sub judice. The last time we discussed the report, and then we wanted Musola to go, the Speaker said to us, it's sub judice, they are in court, you can't do anything, you must apply Rule 19. Again today we are saying, okay, fine, the court has not resolved, so that means the matter won't be discussed again because the situation has not changed from the last council to this one. Unless the Speaker says that she was wrong by using a sub judice because it was raised by the ANC, now it's raised by the DA, then it's correct. So we are saying that same principles must apply. What we are waiting for, because we also, Aldrin, we must respect courts of law. If a matter is in court, the speaker is correct, it is sub judice, we must wait. That's why the ANC waited the whole time.
No, but that doesn't apply anymore, because now the Labour Court has made a ruling. We can agree on that, right? There's a judgment that said the suspension shouldn't go ahead, that the council shouldn't be hearing the suspension, yeah?
Perhaps we must be shown that judgment. Maybe they send it to the speaker, because the ANC and councillors here don't have that judgment.
The Labour Court made a judgment. He went to the Labour Court on an urgent basis that the report must not be tabled in council, and that report wasn't tabled. But now we have another report, which is from the Auditor General, and based on that...
No, the report that is here is not from the Auditor General. The report that we received is the same report that was tabled last year. So we don't have, because remember the Auditor General was here today. The Auditor General explained actually that there was more than 5 billion rands in irregular expenditure by the DA-led government. Now, the Auditor General explained to a large extent that really there must be matters of emphasis that were highlighted must be corrected. The ANC also sponsored control measures to make sure that these things don't happen again. That's what we have done. But we did not have a new judgment. The judgment that we had the other time is still the same judgment today. So the speaker will use that. If the speaker has a new judgment, of course the ANC will change its mind. But as things stand today, we don't have another judgment.
So if the speaker says today, let's go ahead with the debate around the motion to suspend the city manager, what posture will the ANC be taking?
The ANC will demand that that report be based on Let Africa. If it's a report on other things not Let Africa, the ANC won't support. If it's talking about corruption of Let Africa or lately, the ANC will support it.
But we know that it is about Let Africa, isn't it?
No, it is not. The last time it was not. The last time they had brought a new report that talks about issues that Mosola wrote about Facebook, about the DA, and he has taken counsel to disrepute and so on. It was a different report. We have said as the ANC, and we're putting our position, we can only vote on a report that talks about Let Africa. If it talks about personal issues between mayor and executive mayor, we don't enter. We were not there when they employed each other. We want to talk about the issue that is pertinent, that the AG was here about today, and is the issue of Let Africa. If the report doesn't talk about that, we can wait in council. The mayor must write the report that talks about Let Africa, then we vote.
Can we then agree that the ANC does not have confidence in the city manager?
The ANC, from the 15th of August, you'll remember, the ANC said both the mayor and the executive mayor must take dual and several responsibility together, and they must be removed because of the Let Africa scandal. We never changed our position.
So the ANC doesn't have confidence in the city manager?
In both, the executive mayor and the mayor.
So why do you want this issue to be technical, whether it is about the Let Africa report, whether it is about the personal issues that the mayor and his city manager may have between each other? Why isn't that the ANC saying that this guy must leave the city?
Aldrin, we have disciplinary action policy in the city. The man has a contract. We can't just come to the media and say we suspend him without proper procedure. The issues that were raised by the Auditor General has to do with Let Africa. If you don't stick to that, what are the issues that you are raising? Because you can only suspend him based on Let Africa. So if you come up with another thing, it's not that.
But here's the other thing. Isn't there an issue around, for instance, misleading the public, where he spoke about Saka, for instance, you know, the appointment of some people in the city, some of the officials in the city. The other issue that you raised as the ANC, for instance, is how he appointed Pravin Govender, who we already know is not qualified for that position, as the acting city manager while he was absent.
But Aldrin, remember, the ANC is not the mayor. The only person who can bring a suspension report is the mayor. Unfortunately, if the ANC had a mayor in council, will bring the report.
That suspension is happening today. The suspension motion is coming today. It's not on Let Africa, as you are arguing.
It's not on the issues that you are raising also.
No. So let me just quickly bring in Lisego over here. Lisego Makubela, just before we wrap up.
The appointment of Mosola, we are on record, and you know it, your viewers know it. We opposed it. From the time he was appointed, yes. We raised issues about it. We went to the public protector about it because he was not qualified to have occupied that position. Yes. The appointment of all those senior executives that we were speaking about, it was the DA who was presiding over the CV, the interviews. We made it public that we are opposing the appointment of Pravin Govender. We took it to the public protector. We opposed the appointment of the chief of Metro Police. It's public knowledge. We opposed opposed the appointment of Sam Mgobozi, who you are still using his statements that he's writing. He's sitting with it. So before we become obsessed about the appointment of anyone else, let's start about the long list of everybody. Let's start with the spokesperson of the mayor who's loitering here, and there's a judgment about him from the public protector. Let's speak about Pravin Govenda, who opposed this appointment, and we know that all of these people had actually received letters of intention to suspend from the city manager. We can tell you today that the bodybuilder in the office of the executive mayor, and that's why we asked the question to the office of the auditor general. You will have heard that most of the findings are around HR. Most of the findings. We raised an issue with the office of the auditor general to go and audit the office of the executive mayor, because the bodybuilder is still in the office. So before the mayor can even bring a report about anybody, he must start with people in his own office, inadequate, incompetent, unqualified people.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap it there. But Pravin Govender as well, he still remains in office. A whole host of people who have been found not to be qualified for the positions that they occupy still remain in office. And I guess there is a level of truth around that, that the mayor himself must take a level of responsibility. And earlier on, while he was reading his remarks during the opening of the council sitting, the mayor didn't even mention the issue around Dead Africa. But we know, of course, that this has been a hot potato, and as it stands now, it seems to be the elephant in the room. And hopefully later on this evening, we'll have some clarity around the status of the city manager, Musula, whether he will survive this attempt at least to suspend him.
Yeah, it's going to be a long and interesting night for you, Aldrin, as the parties fight over whether to leave office with immediate effect or not to leave with immediate effect. But in the meantime, we now know, quote, the bodybuilder is still in the office.